I think they're West Georgia, in my opinion. Scott's one of my closest friends in this profession, just a close friend off the court as well. Him and Marty at least. You always like competing against your buddies. We have a lot of respect for each other. We've talked a lot of X's and O's over the years, especially with our zone defenses and that. So, familiar a lot with each other, familiar with them. I think they're a really talented team. I think they're one of the teams in this league that could win this league, could win the conference tournament. That's just me personally. Not to put, I'm not putting any pressure on my buddy over there, but I just like his team. I think defensively, they're just a really good team. They got great size, strength, and length in their zone, and they make it difficult to attack. And then from the offensive end, they're such a strong physical team. You got to keep them off the boards. They're going to attack those boards on you. They're a team that can really penetrate and get into the paint, so just a well-rounded team, a good team, and we struggled up there a little bit, but at one point late in the second quarter, I mean, it was a 6-point game, and we kind of shot ourselves in the foot a little bit on some things, and I think we're doing those things better, taking care of the ball. I think that's a big thing you got to do against their zone. They force a lot of turnovers in that zone with their size and speed and length. You're right. I mean, you're right. We played some of our best basketball against Christian Brothers. Played our worst half probably against Middle Georgia. Played a great second half. Couldn't close it out, but. I don't know. You try not to overthink it too much. Again, I've said it all year long, and I'll say it again today. It's been an easy group to coach. From a standpoint of you're not fooling with the attitude, and you're not fooling with effort. They're giving you. I think the thing that I've learned personally to this point, as you kind of reflecting a little more in a year, is where you got to improve in. I believe we got a lot of the right pieces. They're going to, from an individual standpoint, have to make some changes and improve in some area, the improvement, and that's our job to help them and identify. And then I think, you piece some things together, recruiting and you add in a couple of pieces that you think you need to improve. So I know they're excited and we are excited as a staff, as we keep moving forward. But the one thing I think that I've learned most is just the mentality you got to have to compete in the Gulf South night in and night out. And what I mean by that is you got to be a tough-minded person, a tough-minded player, and you got to really be a competitor. And you got to do that on a daily basis, from practice to practice, game to game, and because it's a very challenging league, and it's from top to bottom. I've said that many a times, and I think you got to go through it, and you go through it this year, and you get a feel for it. So knowing that all the players you got back, that you feel like okay, there's some things to build into. So from that standpoint, it's a big growth period. I know I'm getting long-winded on your little coach speak here, but, you look at it from there. And then I think the other thing is, I felt like defensively this year we've been really sound, and it's been on the offensive end, and that we've been a little inconsistent. So, those areas, you keep trying to clean up, trying to get better. This group, you can see the energy already out there on the practice court before we start. They're ready. They're ready to practice, and I've had a couple pop in and say, Coach, we're ready to, for today. So, we'll be ready for West Georgia. Whiteout, fans, this has been a great year, I think, for our fans. We've been telling our recruits that, sending some of our games on film to them to look at the crowd. So, we need that whiteout again, get that great crowd out there. It really pays off big time. Coach Chaney and I have talked about, we feel like we got some of the best fans in our league. And then for me personally, it's, there's nothing more than you want to see is end on a win. I know we've already celebrated senior day and everything, but for me personally, it's just, it's your last practice, your last shoot around tomorrow, and your last game with 3 seniors that, for me personally, I love dearly. And, I'd love to see us be able to send them out one more time on their home court with a big W.